Hey everyone, it's been a while. I wanted to come on here to do a bit of a. First, let me give you I'd like to give an apology for not posting in a while. I created a lot of videos and I just didn't feel. I guess I didn't feel guided to post them. After my last post, I was kind of confused because I was recording my my videos and I got to a certain point where it wouldn't allow me to post, and it would cut off like some of the main points that I was making, and I was so confused. So I got a little frustrated and I took a break and I created some other videos in between that time and now, and to be honest, I don't even know what I want to talk about. I went back to feeling a little bit lost, and I went back into a lot of my meditation and just a lot of rest, some quiet time. A lot of things came up, a lot of feelings, a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of hope, a lot of excitement, and then a lot of dismay. So I took some time to discern my own feelings to see where I'm at and what it is exactly that I'm feeling. It kind of feels like a void. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what it is. I've been having a lot of funny dreams and, funny, good, bad, a mixture of everything. I'm guessing this is all part of this journey to kind of understand yourself. I know this might be a lot of nonsense for some, but to me, this is an important process, and I would like to take my time. And I'm sorry that I'm not posting like every step, but it's very difficult and it's very time consuming to edit and upload and, try to explain and find the proper words to bring forward a message. It's a lot. I'm dealing with a lot in my personal life and my relationship and processing what's happening and trying to accept things for what they are, let things unfold, allow to process. This is the first time in my entire life that I've actually been entirely on my own. This is the longest time I've been on my own. No kids, no friends, just a lot of time to go through, I guess, a lot of feelings, thoughts, downloads, getting to know myself again, or truly hearing myself again, not the voices of people or things that have been said to me. I just am taking the time to listen to my own inner self. It's a lot of confusion because there's a lot of sadness. Some may say it's depression, but if it is depression, I'd like to say that I'm a functional depressed person. And how could you not have depression after a life of misunderstandings, me misunderstanding people, me judging, me not being able to discern, me not being able to look within, for answers, to be able to comfort myself, and of course, a lot of judgments from others, perceived ideas of who they think I am, or what they think I am, and how they think I am, and a lot of negativity. The other day I was just thinking, I was just really trying to kind of remember one person in my life who've ever said nice things to me about myself without judging me. There's only been one person, to be quite honest. Anybody else who've ever been, anybody that's ever said anything about me was so superficial, and it turned into it being all fake or whatever. But there's only been very few genuine people in my life. One individual in particular who was very honest and open, and I felt like I was too to that person. At least I hope that's how they perceived me. Apart from my children, of course, they've been honest and nice always, because they're my kids. They don't have a choice, I guess. Been reading a lot and listening to a lot of podcasts and stuff, but this whole spiritual undertaking in regards to listening to your inner voice, the subconscious mind, or the subconscious, it's all confusing to me. 1 minute I'm saying unconscious, and then next minute I'm saying subconscious. It's so funny. I listened to my first video that I posted, and I was laughing because I believe I was saying unconscious. If you're unconscious, then you're probably not well. You should have been probably dead if you were unconscious for 40 something years. Oh, that's so funny. Sorry, I laugh at my own jokes sometimes, but it's funny. I've had a lot of dreams in the last few months, and I'm very confused. I know a lot of people, or a lot of the research that I've done, talk about telepathic messages and how people communicate through dreams. And it's quite funny because a lot of my dreams felt so real. They were quite comforting. I've always resonated with dreams, and I get a lot of messages through dreams. I'm not claiming to be psychic or anything special, but I've gotten a lot of dreams or messages through dreams that came about, and I welcome them. I don't think I've dreamed so much ever, or I've never dreamt this much of my or of anyone else beside my dad, who passed away. I think I talked a little bit about that in previous videos, but in my personal life, there's a lot of people that I'm not speaking with currently. I mean, I've just taken this time to be by myself. I don't have a desire to speak to anybody apart from being at work and having to, do the whole work thing. You do have to speak when you're there. Otherwise, they wouldn't pay me if I didn't. They just send me home. But I am not in communication with a lot of people, and one particular individual that I had a big falling out with, and it just seems that for 10 years we have never not have communication. I even when we were not getting along for short period of times, either one of us would always be showing some sign of communication, but this is the first time that we've not actually spoken to each other for months, and I don't understand how the dreams, I guess, we're communicating through dreams. I don't know, because I have no confirmation if the other person is having the same dreams or interacting in dreams. I'm so confused about it. Or it's my mind just playing really cruel tricks. It's not malicious in the dreams at all, and maybe it's just my higher self just comforting me. On this journey, on this path. There's been a lot of mistakes, blaming, and misunderstandings, and a lot of cruelty, a lot of unhealthy communication. Things are being said or were said that, or I'm just speaking for myself. That was just like lashing out of hurt and pain. You get to a point in your life where you just don't know how to communicate anymore with anybody. It's like you go around trying to make everything okay, and all people see it's negativity, and no one sees the good. No one sees what's inside of you and your motives and why you do things. They just judge and criticize. I don't understand what it is about me that brings out the worst in people. I don't know what's wrong with me. I talk about healing and always being optimistic and always showing this positive or maybe I don't know. I try to overstep on anybody or step on anyone's toes, as we say. I stay in my lane, and I try to avoid being in conflict with anybody. I move away. I seriously don't think I'm better than anybody. And if anybody out there that knows me feels that I think that I'm better, my God, I don't know what it is about me that I'm saying or doing that's making people feel that about me. I just like being myself. just like helping. I want the best for everybody. How can you stay sane when people around you try to criticize you and cut you down and, poke fun at you? And am I too serious? Am I too practical? Like, what is wrong with me that I can't understand when somebody pokes fun at me, that I'm supposed to accept it? If somebody looks at your face and just start telling you what's wrong with your face, like, I'm already conscious about what's wrong with my face. I don't need anybody to tell me that I have acne scarring, or I might have gained weight, or my sister, my mom, my brothers, well, not brothers, just one in particular, make fun of me, say mean things, tell me I'm too sensitive if I object to what they're saying. And then there's others in my life who have completely misunderstand me. I'm not making this shit up, because there's times when I've had to exert to screaming and raising my voice and showing anger and standing up for myself out of frustration and out of lack of support and out of having to stand up for myself. And if I'm a mean person, or if that seems awful to somebody else, well, geez, I don't know. I don't know how else to put a stop to it. Put a stop to being disrespected, or I let things slide for too long and then it builds up and then I explode. I don't know. Is that what I did? Is that what I do? Or did I just sit there and try to see the other person's perspective and try to understand where they're coming from? But it's like everybody wants a reaction out of you, and they want you to get upset and lash out at them and behave in a certain way, like you're not supposed to just sit in peace and calm and be gentle and quiet, or be positive, or be optimistic, or like you're always supposed to be hustling to one up somebody. I hate this I hate this cruelty. I just want everybody to be happy. I just want me to be happy. I just want my home to be nice and clean and full of joy and comfortable. I want it to be a place where I can come back to hide away, recharge, to go back and deal with this stupid fucking cruel matrix of a world. I sound like a fucking crazy person because I'm just like rambling on about absolutely fuck all. Nothing is making sense, and I feel like partially why I haven't been posting my videos, because nothing has any context really. I don't know if they do. I just feel like a fucking crazy person because the only person I have to speak to is me, and the only person other than me that I speak to in my dreams is the other person that I mentioned, and that's it. It's like, what in the fuck is wrong here? Like, this is absolute crazy fucking madness. Like, I've gone mad. And I'm not ashamed to admit that. I mean, and trust me, I've been going to counseling. I have 2 counselors and my fucking doctor. I even entertained the thought that maybe I have ADHD or ADD or something is fucking mentally wrong with me. And my doctor said absolutely fucking not. Well, he didn't say fucking, but he said absolutely not. We talked a lot about my feelings and some of the things that I mentioned to him and I questioned. He just thought it would be better to have a counselor and just talk things through. A therapist, but I don't see that it's helpful to talk to somebody that doesn't know me, or I just find like my meditations help me a lot, just to let things go, just to surrender and just let it go. I'm trying my hardest to let things go, but there's been so much pain, so much hurt, so much. Life has been so hard and difficult, and it's not just in the last 15 years. It's just been growing up and dealing with family, and man, like, what the hell do you do to fit into society or to a community? And last summer I was all excited. Ever since I moved to this little town here, part of the dream was that I was gonna be involved with a lot of things in the community, and of course COVID happened, and a lot of things happened, but whatever. It wasn't just my dream, it was my partner's dream as well. And we wanted this life to just get involved and maybe make a friend or two. But people out there are so cruel. We realized that we didn't want that because we were friends to each other and we were good enough. We really were good enough to each other. We were best friends. It's the longest that I've had a friend. I just realized that now. It really has been the longest partnership or friendship that I've had with anyone in my life. And I was able to be myself. Maybe I was too practical and too stubborn, or too hard-headed to see some of the things that he shared with me that needed to change about myself. There's so much that I could say. say on, when two people come together and they're just coming from two separate broken places, it's really important to try to find the healing and the help to overcome some of the things that you bring with you from your side, or your part that you bring. I always thought that I was strong. In fact, he always told me that he would never worry about me when I'm out there because I could take care of myself. But when you have no other choice but to take care of yourself, doesn't mean that you don't need somebody to care for you or worry about you. I read a lot about awakenings and having an awakening and part of the soul's reconnecting our higher selves to our soul, and you go through these awakenings where everything just fall away and crumble. It just seems so hard, awakening and ascending to your higher self and all this spiritual stuff. It's like it all is positive and all, but oh my God, like how do you incorporate that with other people in your life who aren't at that level or going through that experience? How do you communicate how do people sit and judge you, like, because based on their experience and the bad things that they've had to experience in their life, judge you and your life accordingly, and are so convinced that they know that this is exactly what's happening, when in reality life doesn't happen that way. Just because you've had an experience and you see something similar doesn't mean that's what's happening. It really isn't so. We need to be mindful about how we give advice to others. I've started to restrain myself, basically. I'm always the one to try to help others and find solutions and give them the best advice. I don't give advice anymore. The best thing to do is just listen. Don't ever try to give anybody advice on their life and what you think they should do and what they shouldn't do. My God, I've done a lot of that in my life, and I'm so sorry that I've done those or that I've given advice to people based on my perspective, because I could have been so wrong and misleading, and I don't ever want to do that. I don't ever want to give advice to anybody. I just want to be able to hold space. I just listen. I just listen with an open heart and just try to be mindful of how or what I'm taking from the experience or that exchange with the other person. We can never know what someone is going through. And I only realized that because I've been so misunderstood that it's led me to that conclusion that if I found myself being misunderstood, then I must have been misunderstanding others too. So I know for sure I'm never doing that, not even with my own children anymore. I don't give them advice. I try to give guidance to my youngest because, he's still young and he still needs guidance. But my two older sons, I listen now, and obviously as a mother, the first thing you want to do is protect your children and give them your advice, but I've realized that advice is just bullshit. It really is. No one knows for sure where a person is coming from. We all choose what to share. We all choose what we're expressing, and we hold back so much, and we put things across and we hold back so much. Let me just put it that way. We hold back and we try to put the best forward or the worst, either way. It's just never, and there's always this duality of things, like either things are super good or super bad, and I don't want to live like that anymore. I don't want to talk about past hurts and traumas, and I just want to let it go. I just want to let it go. But I guess why I'm so emotional tonight is because I'm just sitting here and, doing my meditation, and just being alone is hard, yes. And I know there's a lot of people that I know personally that would tell me that they would trade places with me any day. But I know that it's a good thing, but I guess I have abandonment issues, I don't know, but I'm getting over those now. I mean, I'm enjoying the peace, yes, I appreciate it, but this is not who I am. I'm not a person that wants to live the rest of my life in a home by myself, and like, what kind of boring, it's boring. I want to be able to come home and talk to somebody and, share my day with, and just share. How do you find balance? How do you find balance with two broken people? How do two broken people find balance for themselves? Don't they need to, heal themselves? I mean, I feel exhausted. I felt exhausted. I feel exhausted partially because I'm not sleeping well sometimes. And, this rat race of a life that we have to live. You still got to pay bills. You still got to go out there and, do what you have to do. And I'm doing those things. I have to. But how do you find balance? How do two broken people, or, how do anybody find balance with anybody else? we, I guess we go within and we try to overcome some of these painful things and get over some of the cruelty, have forgiveness for yourself, just have compassion for yourself. Forgive. Just forgive. Have compassion for everybody who's misunderstood or mistreated or misjudged you. And I do that quite often. I mean, I always try to put myself in the other person's shoes, and sometimes I might come across too strong and, giving him this advice. Like, I'm not an expert in nobody's life. Like, I don't know what people are coming with, and I'm done. I truly am practicing that. I don't give anybody advice. If there's any advice that I'm giving, it's about just channel within, just tap into your higher self and find the answers from within yourself, and just keep going, keep siphoning through the matrix and sieve through all the particles of things that come up and discern and try to understand yourself first. Don't try to understand others. I mean, what we see on the surface really isn't what goes on within anybody. And going back to my emotions tonight, it's been a rough couple of days, just missing people and missing my best friend. Sometimes just the thought of what others are saying and how people are talking or whatever just comes, and you just have to deal with it. And people will always talk and judge and misunderstand, and it hurts. It does. Everybody wants the best for their family and their child or whatever. Well, I guess everybody but my family, I take it. My family just controls. They don't have concerns. They just tell you what to do and expect you to do it, and never try to understand where you're coming from or, try to support your decisions. I just want everybody to be happy. I honestly do. And yes, there's certain people in my life that I don't want them to be happy without me. I want to be a part of their happiness. And when the thoughts come into my head that I may not ever be a part of that happiness, it hurts. And it's not a nice feeling, obviously, and I'm just trying to learn how to live with that. Learn to live with a whole family rejecting you. I just hope, we pray that everyone could just one day ask themselves, why they feel that they judge each other so harshly and try to see things that way, because I think when we judge, it says a lot about us. You know, it's a lot of mucking up of things because it clouds our judgment. And the first thing when you start judging others, it's telling you something. And I think what I've realized is that it says a lot about how I'm feeling, and I shouldn't let my moods and how I'm feeling cloud my judgment of anybody. And I've accepted my life and how it's been and what's happened in all the years, that all the things that have happened. Because, you know, if we didn't allow things to happen, it wouldn't happen. If we weren't a part of it, it's meant to happen because we were a part of it. We were allowing it. We were playing a role as well. So, you know, once you start understanding that, I think that's a big part of healing, is knowing that you weren't as innocent as you think you are, because there must be something about you that's really not helping a situation. So trying to prove a point or explain instead of listening, because I find, based on my own experience in my life, that the more you try to explain or clarify things, it just, like, it really doesn't make sense. Like, why did I try so hard to clarify things and show people or show anybody that was ever in an argument or disagreement how wrong they were? Like, you know, like, I don't need to prove anything to anybody. Like, you know, if you know yourself, you just gotta hold space and just let people express themselves and allow that. You don't need to like go into so much details. And I just felt like some of the things that came at me were cruel, and at the time I felt I needed to explain, like, you know, educate or let the person know me or what I am. And it's just all nonsense. It's not worth ruining a friendship, a relationship, a partnership over trivial arguments. And people are going to see you how they see you. You can't change that. They're going to say what they say based on their perspective, and you can't change that. Some people are going to resort to lying and not admitting when they're wrong. They're going to make shit up. They're probably not going to remember some things, and then they're just going to fill in the blanks and make shit up against you and make you look like the bad person. So it's okay, though. Be that bad person if you have to. Yeah. I guess that's your role in some people's lives. So you're just gonna have to be that. How can you change that? How can you exhaust yourself to the point of proving that you're a good person or that you mean well to anybody if they're not willing to see it, you know? You just can't. And I think part of life is learning that. It's too bad it took me to took me this long, these men. Oh, I can't even speak now. All these years to understand that it's not worth it. I like the idea of a man having control, and, you know, a woman should always have to respect her man, and I love that. I've always resonated with that. Sometimes it's really hard to see the value of others when you had to fight your whole life and watch out for yourself, and then you trust people and they just let you down over and over and over, and then it just becomes a natural part of you and who you are to just be that leader for yourself, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to be that way. I know I don't. But I know two people can't be both broken and expect to have a healthy relationship. Sometimes a relationship is a partnership, and it should go both ways, and should have times when one person should be able to rely on the other person and fall back if they have to. I know for goddamn sure that there are many times that I needed to fall, but I couldn't. And that's a lot of what I'm working through right now, is knowing when to ask for help. It's not important to have the house and the car and the money in the bank and all that first. It's a rat race. And I think I was wrong. I was chasing this. Everybody's buying a house, and, you know, we look like a failure. We can't save. We don't have a house. We don't. But at least we had each other, and we knew that that's part of what we wanted. But how can you get those things when you don't have a healthy mind? And people need to understand that it's not about the house and the cars and the money in the bank. It's not about that. Like, I'm happy living in my 2-bedroom apartment above a store. It's beautiful. You know, it's an experience, and I'm grateful, and I love it. And what? Because you're not paying a mortgage and you own a house means that you're not a person, you're not whole, and you're not a whole person. Does that mean you're broken? Like, you have to have this house, and just a material thing. I'm not taking that to my grave. I'd rather live in a forest, in a freaking tent, under a tree, in a tree, than live in some neighborhood with houses and people all around me. I'd move to a private island if I can. I think everybody should start looking into being self-sustained, and yeah, you want a little house and shelter. It's important to have shelter and security with your shelter. I definitely know that I could never live in no big city and have neighbors all around me. I just love nature too much, and I love the elements, the wind, the snow, the waters, the streams, the rivers, the lakes. To be anywhere near some suburban neighborhood, it's not where I'm going to end up. I know that for sure. I'll probably end up this old lady living in a cottage. Well, a cottage with my little boat so I can go fishing and then set traps in the winter for my dinner, I guess. Oh my God. I'm just talking nonsense now, but really, in reality, that is the best life. I don't need to own a bunch of stuff. I mean, I do have nice things around me now. I'm capable, but I've just always been I have this dream of making things, recreating, repurposing, and not waking up a 9-to-5 job and going to a 9-to-5 job and getting paid by somebody and working under somebody. Like, that's not the life. That's not a life. And I know for sure I'm not going to be doing that for the rest of my life. I'm working really hard on creating I've been telling my family for years now that we should really look into buying a piece of land and owning a piece of land, even if you live in a trailer for a bit, and build your house off grid. That's nice. I mean, man, I come from Guyana. People live off grid all the time. Most people are self-sustained, and it's okay. Like, you could do it here too in Canada. There's people living in freaking Alaska, Norway, Sweden, everywhere, living in the elements, and they still survive living off grid. That's the way of the world, just getting off this matrix, this 3D matrix that we're on, this hamster wheel. Guess I'm going to manifest the shit out of that dream or vision. I'll keep working on that. Anyways, enough about the sappy, emotional, crazy talk. but I'm serious about living off grid. Working really hard on that part. One other thing that I was doing in the last 2 years was I watch a lot of videos on YouTube, and I went back to where I came from, Guyana. I watched a lot of YouTubers in Guyana, and I just I was feeling this sense of like I wanted to go home. Like I missed home. I didn't know. I'm trying to find my place in this world, and I realized that Guyana is not even my home anymore, and it's Canada, and I couldn't dream of leaving Canada, leave my children behind, because I know for sure my kids wouldn't be coming, and I want to be where my kids are and my family, obviously. And I just realized that when you don't feel like you can fit in with people around you, where do you go? And I guess the only other place that I could go to was Guyana, and I just kept watching these videos like nonstop. It was driving me crazy. And the thing about Guyana is I know I can't even survive in Guyana. Guyana's worse than Canada, and it's worse of a rat race there. How would have ever survived? I haven't even been there in 16 years. I don't even know what the country would be like to be there now. It's after 16 years. I don't really have family there anymore, and I don't know. I was just trying to find my place, or find a place where I belong, and having that feeling of belonging. I just felt so lost. Like I didn't know. I guess that void, try to fill that void. I'm not going to Guyana. I'm never going to Guyana to live. It's just crazy talk now. Well, I guess I don't really have that much more to share. I do, but I don't want to. This video probably won't even upload. I don't know. It's over an hour. And I've been having so much issues with uploading my videos on YouTube. It wouldn't even allow me to upload videos. It just kept cutting so many minutes off my videos, and the main part of my messages were just being deleted. So I'm going to try to upload this and try to come back on here and continue my crazy talk. I don't know if it's going to help you guys, but just sharing my journey, my emotional, crazy, practical, impractical moments of my life. I used to say lonely life, but I know my life is not lonely. I have myself, and I have God's within, and my angels, my guardian angels, my dad in heaven looking down, keeping my company, guiding me, I guess. hearing me say I'll never go back to Guyana, and he's probably rolling around and thinking, what the hell? It's always been his dream to go back to Guyana. I guess he was trying to find his purpose and his way as well. Oh well. I guess I'll catch you guys on the next video. I hope, I hope this video makes sense to somebody, and, it is going to be helpful. Sometimes just sharing, even if it's rambling. Somebody out there, please hold space for me, because I don't need advice. I'm not giving anybody advice. I'm just sharing my journey, sharing how I'm dealing and overcoming some of these challenges and obstacles and blockages. Speaking of blocked pathway, blocked whatever. Yeah, well, I guess I'll catch you guys on another video. Take care. Love you all. Bye.